all the time. Just click murdochhyundai.com. You've got to come and see us.
All right, welcome back to the Rod Arquette Show. Don't forget, in the 5 o'clock hour, we're going to give you a chance to win a pair of tickets to see the Utes take on the Trojans from USC this Friday night up at Rice Eccles Stadium. We'll tell you how we're going to play that game. That's coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Welcome back to the Rod Arquette Show here on Utah's Talk Radio, 105.9 KNRS. Listen and you'll know. Telephone number to call if you want to join in on the conversation today, 888-570-8010, 888-570-8010. Donald Trump in town today, of course, for his father's campaign. A lot of the discussion surrounds a comment he made the other day about Skittles, and a lot of people are very concerned about it. Of course, he is being attacked, but he's defending it today and says, look, you know, we want to welcome refugees into this country, but we need to do a better job of vetting them, screening them, because of all the events that have happened in this country over the last 3 or 4 years. Well, joining us on our Newsmaker line right now is Adan Batar. Adan is the Immigration and Refugee Resettlement Director with the Catholic Community Services here in Utah. Adan, how are you? And welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Adan, I want to get your reaction to what Donald Trump said, first of all. Donald Trump Jr. about Skittles. A lot of people very offended by that. Were you offended by that?
Well, I think, refugees are people. They're not the Skittles, and as we know, there are more than 65 million refugees worldwide that have been forcibly, kicked out of their homes and don't have any place to go to. So for those folks being called the Skittles, it's really insult to all these people that are looking, a safe place to live, and also we as Americans, we have a tradition of taking the lead and helping those who need our help.
In your opinion, Adan, how concerned should Americans be about refugees coming into this country, especially from troubled parts of the world?
Well, I think, as we know, the United States has a history of welcoming people fleeing persecution from all over the world. In the past 40 years, we safely welcome more than 3 million refugees that came from more than 70 different nationalities. These refugees go through the most sophisticated security screening a human being can go to. Throughout this time that we have been resettling refugees, we never had any issues, and these are individuals who themselves are victims of war and that have been persecuted. More than 80% of the refugees are women and children, and when somebody calling them, terrorists, I think that's baseless. And these are individuals that need our help, and that we need to protect them. And I think, myself, I came here as a refugee, and I went through the process, and I understand how difficult that process could be. And Americans have the right to be, concerned. But I want to assure them, that the U.S. government is doing its best to screen every refugee, and make sure that, those that have been screened come to the United States. The U.S. Refugee Resettlement Program is not like the refugees that we see on TV in Europe, where refugees are coming in masses. That is not the case in the United States. Every year we accept 70 to 85,000 refugees that have been waiting in the refugee camp. There are more than 20 million refugees in the refugee camps today. That in the U.S. this year we took 85,000, and all of them went through a very rigorous security screening process. We don't need to worry about those that are coming here.
Adan, if you can briefly describe what you characterize as a rigorous screening process. How rigorous is it?
It is very rigorous. Individuals that apply the U.S. Refugee Resettlement Program, first they need to be registered. Once they are registered, their name, all their identity are checked. Their names and fingerprints are sent to the U.S. intelligence, CIA, FBI, and their names will be checked against the database that the law enforcement have that, and then once their names are checked, their fingerprints are cleared, they are, and they will be interviewed by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security officers who travel to the refugee camps And then once their cases are approved, those are the ones that are coming to the United States. And then when they come at the port of entry, again, they will be checked, they will be fingerprinted again, and then they come to the U.S. They go to all the 50 different states, and then after 1 year, the refugees are in the United States. They need to adjust their status from refugee to a permanent residency, and then at that time when they're applying, they are also fingerprinted again. And then after 5 years, refugees are eligible to apply their citizenship. Again, they will be fingerprinted. And all these things, happen over the course of 5 years, and refugees, had to go through this. And I don't think any terrorist will sneak in and go through this.
But do you understand the concerns of Americans out there who are worried that some of the refugees who are coming into this country are planned maybe by ISIS and plan to do us harm someday?
I don't think so. I think that is really a baseless. As I told earlier, more than 3 million refugees came to the U.S. When I was coming to the United States, I was fleeing persecution, and I wanted a safe place to raise my family and my children. The U.S. gave me, a second chance to rebuild my life and to be who I am today. And no one can tell me that I'm not an American. I work hard for this country like everybody else who born in this country, and my children were born in this country, and I love America more than I love my native country where I'm from. I think that is what all the refugees are. When they're coming to the United States, they're bringing hope with them. They want to work hard to live in an American dream so they can provide to their families and give a better life for their children and also be safe. Refugees went through a lot. I think we need to keep that in mind. 65 million people would not have fled their home country if they have safety and assurance in their home countries. They're fleeing because of the evil act that is committed to them by those who don't want any safety in this world. Refugees, are not the enemy. I think we need to protect the refugees. We need to provide the support and help that they need. After all, America is a country of compassion, a country that was built by immigrants and refugees. And ever since this country, everyone who came to this country, they were fleeing religious persecution. They were fleeing, freedom to express their political, freedom. I think that's what America is about, and we shouldn't be forgetting about that. Refugees are not the enemy.
All right, Adan, as always, great chatting with you. Thank you for your time this afternoon.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
All right, joining us on our Newsmaker line, that's Adan Batar, Immigration and Refugee Resettlement Director with the Catholic Community Services here in the state of Utah. More coming up on the Radar